Many different time frames he can take us, no mistaking. Every song quaking, he slaughter like a pig house. We talking long bacon, children of the corn. You can call me Malachi, tuned in every day. I don't need no alibi. He's the man, he's the man. We talk with OC. He's the man, he's the man. We talk with OC. He's the man, he's the man. We talk with OC.
What's up, y'all? It's Talking with OC. I'm your host, OC. I'm coming to y'all live on Super Bowl Sunday. We did a Super Bowl show last night on Podcast Without a Name. Shout out to my co-host on Podcast Without a Name, Big AC. You know he's going with those Patriots. I'm going with the Seahawks. I think it's going to be a 17-10 game. Seahawks going to prevail. That's what I think, but that's just today. That's just one thing. That's just one thing I went over. I want to shout out to Coolio, the Underdog, for coming through with the intro songs to Talking with OC. Couldn't do it without you, brother. Shout out to your Ham Right podcast. Y'all want to get another great podcast to watch every week that bring you all kind of stuff in the news and around the internet. Your Ham Right podcast is the podcast to watch. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that supports the show, everybody that listens to Talking with OC anytime they can. You can get the episodes on Talking with OC Talking with OC podcast at I keep forgetting this tagline. Talking with OC podcast.com. Talking with OC podcast.com. That's the new what is it? The new website. That's the new website. Got everything going on the website. Merch is coming soon. You can just look at shows that I've produced or that are out. So I'm just getting back into the swing of things. This is one of my first shows in a long time. I'm talking with OC on here, and I'm gonna go over some things today. I want to talk about some things today. I got some things on my mind. I've been collecting on my mind today. First thing I'm gonna go through probably is talk about family and how important family is. Relationships, how important relationships are to foster. Good relationships are to foster, and give you a contrasting relationship, so we can go through it like we can get a perspective, or we can get a idea of what I'm talking about when we talking about relationships. And then parenting is another thing that I've been that's been on my mind too, for people to go through and get good relationships, make good relationships with their kids, family members, and all of that type of stuff. Sometimes we can't make good relationships with people because it's so much of a disdain for that person. But it's always good to forgive yourself. It's always good to walk through that to make peace with yourself. Because if you love yourself and you love yourself big time, like I love myself, it doesn't. You don't have to talk to that person. You don't have to get involved or engage with that person. It's a lot of people out there that do things that you don't do. I found this out through living life, on this planet for 50 years. It's certain people that you love, that you love, and you can't see yourself not being around. But sometimes you have to make that decision and not be around that person because of what they do, not who they are, but what they do. Sometimes it does. You do make that decision off of who they are, and when you do that. It should be just an involuntary type of thing. It should be a thing where it's not, let me move in my seat. But if it's not personal, it's just something that I just can't have in my life at this particular point in time. So that's how I get down with family and friends and being around certain people per se. But it's all for self peace. It's all for self peace. Okay, so let's get into this thing that I call parenting 101. I work at a school where there's a lot of kids that get away with a lot of different things. They have behavior problems, and they are learning their way. And I'm working with these kids. I'm working with these kids. So with that being said, I got one kid that I work with. Comments. I got one kid that I work with. If you come in the building, make a comment. Say hey, hi, whatever you want to say. If we're on YouTube, if you're looking at this on YouTube, subscribe. If you're looking at it on Facebook, go ahead and share it. Share it. You know what I'm saying? Like it and share it, because we want everybody to get some of this good game. Okay, so anyway, I was having lunch yesterday with my dad. My dad turned 71, and I asked him a question. I said, Dad, what if I was young and I was in the first grade or something like that, and second grade or something, and they had to call you. They called you because I was having difficulties. I was having behavioral problems, and you got up to the school, and I was in a space where I was butt naked. I'm sitting up here crying. I'm butt naked. I didn't took my clothes off. I didn't cuss people out. I didn't bit people. I didn't hit people. I didn't did all of that stuff. What would you have done? He said, he looked at me and said, oh, you would have had a lot of problems. You'd have had a lot of problems. And my father meaning saying that, my father would have dealt with me appropriately. He would have really, for lack of a better term, he would have whooped my ass. And I would have had in my head, oh, I can't do that. I better not do that again. You know what I'm saying? Where as far as some of these kids today, they get away with that shit. They get away with that stuff. I had a kid that disrobed at school, took all his clothes off because he was in this space called a safe space, but he took all his clothes off, and they had to call his father up there to come get him. I know that we have behavior problems. I know that these are different things that different challenges that people face when they have kids with these type of problems. But I have examples. I've seen examples of kids that's on the spectrum, and I know a lot of people that and one in particular is my aunt, one of my dad's sisters. Has a son that has had some of those challenges, but he wasn't brought up that way to get away with stuff. It's like his brothers. He wasn't brought up that way. He was brought up to be able to live on his own. He was brought up to be able to hold a job. He was brought up to be able to drive and all of that. And those are the examples that I have of successful parenting. Even though your kid may have challenges like that, behavior challenges, it's the work that we do at home around these kids. It's the work that we do with them when the lights are out, when we're behind the scenes. We just don't send them to school to have the behavioral people to deal with them. We challenge ourselves at home to deal with them like they're regular kids, and get to show them that they can be a productive citizen in this society. We can't use these things that we go through, these challenges that we have, as a crutch not to do different things in our lives. We can't do that. Case in being, you got people that are in the Olympics with no legs, people that are running, people that are in these different events with no legs. You know what I'm saying? I got a partner that's clean and sober. He has a prosthetic, and he doesn't let that stop him. So we can't use these different things as a crutch to fuel us to get through our lives. It won't happen. We have to really, as parents, we've got to really put the work in when the kids come home. Now, in my case, I can put myself in there, interject myself in there. My daughter was said to have some problems in the third grade, second, third grade. And the school called me, and I talk about this in one of my other shows, but the school called me, and they wanted to, first thing they wanted to do is put her on medication. First thing they wanted to do is drug her up. First thing they wanted to bait me with was a check. You can get a check for her. You can get it if she's on medication. You can get paid money for her for her. And I thought that was absurd. I thought that was disrespectful. I thought it was just downright out of pocket. So I said to the people, okay, you explained to me your plan. Let me explain to you my plan, and let's see if we can get this taken care of like that. Because I'm her dad, and I know what it takes, and I know what she is about. I know how she acts, and I know the ins and outs of her personality and her period, because I pay attention. So we end up, long story short, we end up not putting her on medication. We end up holding her back. So she did, I think, the third grade again, and we end up getting her second or third grade again, and we end up getting her help for the tutoring for the things that she was lacking in. So fast forward to her high school year, graduation. She graduated one of the top students of her class. Cords, ropes, all of that type of stuff. One of the top students of her class. And that's because of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about parenting. I'm talking about us as parents putting in the work behind the scenes. When she come home, her mother put in a lot of work with her and her brother and sister. They learning their words, learning their sight words, learning how to write, which we take for granted now today because they don't teach that in schools nowadays. Was learning how to write. Her mother did a lot of that stuff with them. And so that they could be successful when they went to school, and they wouldn't feel like they were inferior or less than. So it takes us as parents to take on that responsibility, not just sending your kid to school, because we can send our kids to school all day. If they don't know how to learn, they won't learn. So we have to teach these things at home. We have to be proactive. And instead of reactive. And so when I took on that role as being proactive, I rarely had to go to her school I never had to go to her school for a behavior problem. Never had to go up to her school as a behavior problem for behavior. Never had to do it because we put the work in at home. Her mother and I put the work in at home to really drive home certain lessons, drive home certain life lessons, drive home what it means to be accountable for you, what it means to be on time, because my kid went to school every day. My kid went to school every day. Practice in sports and whatever they was doing, they were involved every day. And so those are the things that kept my family going. That was the thing that kept my family going. Now over the years, even when and I'm gonna throw this in here because this is something that a lot of people deal with. Even when my relationship with her mother didn't work out, that wasn't a gateway to mess. It wasn't a gateway to negate my responsibilities. It wasn't a gateway for me to step away and not be a father. What it did was push me further and further into her life to make sure that she is doing the things that she needed to do to become a great great citizen, a good sister, a good daughter. You know what I'm saying? It fueled me to be there more often. And so, with that being said, I was out of the home when she was in middle school. So okay, and so, but I still stayed around, and I still and I never got into a discussion, or I never got into a situation where she didn't have what she needed. She didn't want for nothing. She participated in everything she wanted participate in. And I still was able to be dad. Still was able to provide and stuff like that. So now fast forward 27. It's 20. She's 27 now. She drives her own car. She's bought her own car. She works a job she's been on for about, I would say, about 5 years. She working a job for about 5 years. She's gonna make some changes. She went to college and got a couple of degrees. And so those are the things that those are the things that we want for our children to be, is something to themselves. You know what I'm saying? I can't live for her, and she can't live for me, and I can't be in her life 24/7 after a certain age. Like, I break this down in another show that I've done, but we as parents got to understand our role, our role throughout their maturation in their life. You know, the ages. You know, from 0 to 10, I'm all in there. From 10 to 15, I'm all in there. From 15, 16, 17, I'm still in there, but I'm letting the lessons and the teachings and my voice take care of some of the parenting, because let's be honest, if I'm there and I've been there all the time, before she does anything, she's gonna think, what would my father do? Or she's gonna hear that voice. Is it something you should be doing? If it is, go ahead. She's gonna hear that voice, and that voice is me. That voice is always getting a lesson from me. And so these things around that age, 17, 18, 19, you want to be, your relationship changes with your kid. Your relationship changes, and we got to understand those things. So I would say from 17 to 21, I was transitioning to not full-time dad, but I was transitioning to that guy that's here with his door open. Anytime you need me, we can talk. Anytime, anything that you're going through, you can bring to me, and we can discuss it, and we can and I can give you a story on how things worked out for me or didn't work out for me in every circumstance. So at that point, 21 to 25 and 27, how she is, she's autopilot. She's on her own, living her life. So at that point, I take another step back, and I wear this hat of parent, but I wear this hat that I wear this hat that our relationship is totally different. It's like we are friends to a certain point, but you also already always know that I'm your dad. So we have that relationship too. But we have this open relationship where we can talk about everything and anything. And we that's what we like to do. We like to talk about things. We like to laugh. We like to joke. We like to live life. And anything that you run by me, I'm not judging you. We'll talk about it and see where it is we can get to where we need to get to. But I'm the type right now that I'm hands off. I don't gotta deal with you and your relationships. I don't gotta deal with you and what your life is. But I do know this. I know that you value your last name, and you value what comes along with that. And so you treat it as such. My daughter is a thinker. She's a researcher. She researches everything that she wants to do. She researches it. She gets this data on what it is she's trying to do, and so she can make a better decision about it. And so that's one of the things that was taught to her over her lifespan. You know, as being a kid, coming up as being a kid, you might want to think about that first before you do it. You might want to go talk to the people before you have them do this work for you to see where they're at. You might want to go like 18th birthday. She was telling me, Dad, I'm gonna get me a tattoo. And I was dead set against it. I was like, no, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. That's something that you shouldn't do. And I was just my opinion about it. But on her 18th birthday, she got a tattoo on her arm, and the tattoo. When she showed it to me, I was blown away. I was like, wow, that's a great one to have, and it means something. It changed my mind when I seen it. You know what I'm saying? To tie that into what we're talking about, when you make good decisions, when you're taught to make good decisions, you continue to make good decisions. And that's one of the things that we as parents have to understand and do. We gotta understand when we're teaching our kids things, we teach them these things for the long run of their life. I call it her having a toolbox, and this imaginary toolbox has all of these tools in it that you can use throughout your life. When you are in a situation, you can pull one of these tools out and you can fix whatever it is problem that you have. Or before you have those problems, you can tune up whatever you need to tune up to get to wherever you need to go and do whatever it is you need to do. So that's my parenting thing today. Is we as parents not only got to take responsibility for our kids, but we got to do the work behind the scenes. We have to do the work behind the scenes, even if we're not in the household or whatever the case may be, we're co-parenting or whatever, we still got to do our part. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention before I get off of that is that me being a father, me seeing my dad be the dad he is. Shout out to my dad, Overton Senior, 71 years old, just turned 71 yesterday. And me understanding these lessons that I got and how I picked them up, it really shaped me on how I should teach my kid on how to be who she needed to be. So that's one of my driving forces too. But I was going to say that her mother had, even when we split, she didn't have to worry about us co-parenting. That was one of the things that I took serious. That was one of the things that I didn't take no stuff about. That's one of the things that I couldn't see myself on a child support list. I couldn't see myself being one of those type of fathers where I'm absent and you ain't seen me in days. I couldn't fathom that. That's something I couldn't fathom. That's something that didn't come across my mind to be that way. What came across my mind is, and always will be, to take care of my responsibility on the front end. The back end is too much. It costs too much. You might have to go to jail. You might have to do all kind of other bull jive, like Shannon Sharp say. You might have to do all kind of bull jive on the back end. I never wanted that. I always wanted to be that dad that can go to the school and take my kid out if I needed to. I wanted to be that dad that wasn't questioned about my motives about having my kid over or having taken my kid to a park and just have fun, or doing things like that, helping her with her homework and stuff like that. That I never wanted to be that type of dad that didn't participate in those things, because these are not only times to help, but these are also times that we teach lessons. These are also times that we teach lessons. I took my daughter to school, and I'm going off, but I took my daughter to school every day from in high school, every day. And every day I picked her up in high school. So it was one of those things where we had, we learned a lesson every day. That little 5-10 minutes in the car, a little 5 minutes in the car, seven minutes in the car. We learn something every day. I'm teaching something every day. Inadvertently teaching something every day. I'm teaching it. We in the store. We had to go school shop. We had to go do a lot of things. We had to go to cheer events. And when you're dealing with me, I'm teaching you something. We learning something. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. That's just how we need to be. We need to be learning something every day. Inadvertently, you wouldn't even know you learning something, but you're learning something. And that's why that's what I took so serious. I got some people are moving. That's what I took so serious about that. And now she's the person she needs to be. So that's parenting. Well, we need to number one, do the work behind the scenes. Read with your kids. Do math with your kids. Let your kids write different letters and numbers. Uh, with your kid. Make sure they understand the importance of what's going on and the importance of what you're doing. Number two, discipline. You gonna discipline how you gonna discipline I'm a teacher, so I teach. Maybe you didn't hear me, or maybe you didn't understand the direction. So let me go back through this direction and let me show you what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? If it happens too many times, then I'm sorry, we got to get a whooping. That's just how that works. Now we may not have to get to that point because I'm showing you what it is I want instead of just telling you. Instead of just screaming it out at you. I'm telling you what it is I want. What it is, what needs to happen. I'm showing you what needs to happen. So those are big things when it comes to parenting. And then the last thing is just to be present. Be present. Have your presence known. Understand who her or his teachers are. Understand where they going. Understand what they're doing. Don't be afraid to be the bad guy, because I was a bad guy a lot. I can't go. Yeah, because you're not. You're not. I don't feel comfortable with that. I listen to what it is. I don't feel comfortable with that. So then there's that. So if I don't feel comfortable with it, that it's not happening. And that's just that. So those are some big things that we need to do, and not if we have kids with challenges that's on the spectrum, and not letting them use that as a crutch not to be successful people, not letting them use that as something that's going to hold them back. We want to push everybody forward. So let's do that. That's my parenting that's my parenting part of the show, and I hope everybody got something from that. My next thing that I'm bringing to the forefront is relationships, building good relationships. How do we know what a good relationship is? These are a lot of questions that have been asked as I've been around for these 50 years. I've asked myself these things. I've asked myself these things. I've tried to explore what these things are, and so yeah, and so this is what I come up with. Being accountable in a relationship. That's number one. Being accountable in a relationship. What have you done to make things right, or make things good? What have you done? What is it that the things that you do? Give me something to drink. When you have problems in relationships and things go awry, what part did I play in that? You know what I'm saying? How could I have done better? How can I have been better? These are the things these are the things that really set you apart from a lot of people. Set you apart from a lot of people, especially when you into a relationship with somebody. When you're in a relationship with somebody, self what is it called? Being accountable for yourself is one of the biggest things you can ever be. Is be accountable for yourself and your actions and what you do. We can't change people. We can't make people do things they don't want to do. We just can't do that. If somebody genuinely loves you and genuinely wants to see you happy, that's what will happen. They'll generally want to see you happy. If they don't, then they'll compromise that. And so they are what I call those other people. Those kind of people. They're those kind of people. And so do you want to associate with those kind of people? Whether it be a long-term relationship or a short-term relationship. You have to understand that. Do your goals and do your morals match up? You know what I'm saying? Do they match up? Is that something that happens? I mean, because if not, we're gonna find ourselves in a lot of situations where we don't see eye to eye. We're gonna find ourselves in a lot of situations where we don't see eye to eye. And so, me personally, I try to find these different things out. How do we mesh? You know what I'm saying? Is it you know, can I deal with this person? Can do we have anything in common? What is our conversations like? You know what I'm saying? How does that work? You know what I'm saying? Uh, and always be aware of the doors that you're walking into. Always being aware of, you know, if I've been through this door before, do I want to go back through it? You know, we have to find those different things out. We was talking about at lunch yesterday how the dating pool is really slim these days when it comes to we was talking about when it comes to men, women finding men. It's a lot of men out here that play a lot of games, and this is what we was talking about at the table. And I was an advocate for really trying to find out what it is that you want for yourself, what the things that you want for yourself, because they got that big discussion out there about 50 people. I mean, 50 somebody paying relationship in a relationship they paying 50-50 on bills and stuff. I tend to stay away from that and say it's whatever the two people got going on in their household. That's what I tend to say. What you got going on in your household, uh, what you got going on in your household is something that that's between the two of you. And so the dynamic, if that works for you guys, where the guy pays all the bills and the woman does nothing, it's not invested, that's fine. That's fine for you. But for me, for me, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. We have to both be invested. We both have to be invested in this relationship. We both have to be invested in this financial part of the relationship. We both have to be invested, because when you invest yourself or you invest something, you have a stake in it. It's like you treat it differently. If somebody gives it to you, it's not treated the same. So I got to be invested. I seen my father pay the mortgage, rent, or whatever the thing is by itself. Keep his office going by itself. And my mother, she paid little things here and there, but that was the dynamic between them two. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that they came up with. That's how that was going to run their household. And so in relationships like that, you know, I'm one to err on the side of just being fair. I'm on the side of being fair. It's not fair if I'm doing everything and you're doing nothing. That's not fair. And I have some things that I got some things that I won't do. I got some things that I will take care of, and some things that I won't take care of. And some things that I should take care of, and some things that I shouldn't take care of. But if I have to take care of a woman's appearance, then, and that goes with everything. If I got to take care of a woman's appearance, that's not my job. You have to take care of your own appearance. I take care of my appearance. You know what I'm saying? So that's something you have to take care of. So that has nothing to do with me. I'm not stressed over your nails not being done. I'm not stressed over your wig not falling in line. I'm not stressed about that. That's not a stress of mine. I'm not stressed about your toes not being done. I'm not stressed about that, because that's not my that's not something I do. That's not something I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about bigger things. I'm thinking about how this household is staying afloat. I'm thinking about mortgage or rent. I'm thinking about regular bills. I'm not thinking about your appearance. If you want to stay uh, if you want to stay looking good for me, then you'll find a way to do that without me having to put forth money for that. You know, and if you find it in a productive way, because we can go get some destructive ways out here, some destructive ways to go find it out. You know what I'm saying? But if you find it in a positive way, then it's all good. If you work and you doing your thing, you know, you have a career. Ain't nothing sexier than a woman having their own shit going on, their own stuff going on. You have your own stuff going on. You ain't nothing sexier than that. You to see you in your element, and you doing what you running your thing. You doing your thing. Whether it be a employee in retail, or whether it be a person in the boardroom, a woman in the boardroom. However that may be, if you running something and you doing something for you, that right there is a turn on. That's a turn on. Sponging and mooching, that's not a turn on. The sponging and mooching only get you so far. Then you got to get thrown out with the trash. That's how I see it in a relationship between two people. But in relationships overall, it's good to build good relationships with people, even if you're not romantically involved, or even if you're not romantically involved. It's great to build great relationships with people, because you never know. You might meet this person again, and this person might be in a position to make or break something you're trying to do. Or it's just good to know good people. It's just good to be good people, good folk. It's good to be that type of person, because people don't never have to question that integrity. They don't never have to question that about you. And so that's how I like to live my life. When you see me coming, oh, there go OC. Let me holler at him to see what he got going on. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, oh, I got to go the other way. This nigga got his hand out. This nigga this nigga that. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And my heart is so big. I help anybody that want to be successful. That wants to know something that I know. I'm not going to slight nobody. I'm not going I'm not going to disrespect nobody. But what I am going to do, what I am going demand, what I am going to demand or put out there is that I like respect. I like to be respected. You know what I'm saying? In my circles, I like to be respected. But if I can't be, then I'm not in that circle. I'm not gonna put myself in that circle. So that's just how that works. Relationships, build good relationships with people. Always be upfront. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like something, say it. I don't like it. This is something that I can't get with. Make sure you say that. Make sure you you are never in a position where you have to you have to give more of yourself than you need to. Because if you're not good with yourself, then you're not good, period. And that's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. That's the bottom line. If you can't pour into somebody just enough, and somebody pour back into you, then maybe that's not a good relationship to be into. If somebody is just taking from you, you know what I'm saying. Building good relationships is when you hear somebody's name in a different circle, and it's nothing but praise. It's nothing but greatness being said. And if somebody has something bad to say about them, if that's not your perception, deal with it appropriate. Don't jump in and start talking about the person too. Jump in, hey, no. This is what we're not gonna do. I'm not gonna listen to you talk about this person while they ain't here. So I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm doing. I don't care what your relationship is with them. That's it. May be that needed to happen. But yeah, it's all about doing that type of stuff when the lights is not on. Integrity. You know what I'm saying? I'm built on that. I'm built on integrity. I've made mistakes in my life to push me to this point where I'm big on it. I've made mistakes. I'm not above or below making a mistake. This is the only reason why I'm able to sit here and talk is because I've made mistakes and I can and I've grown from them. I've grown from them. I try to use my best judgment every time on the things that I do, but sometimes I make a error. There's an error. There's an error, and I got to learn from that too. That's relationships. That's relationships. Relationships. It's good to have. It's good to have great relationships with people. It's good to have good relationships with people, and it's good to have a relationship with somebody. If you having questions about what a relationship is and how a relationship should go, just confide in somebody that is having that looks like they have a great relationship going on. That's a romantic relationship. But friendships, we should all know. We should all know how to build good friendships throughout our lives. We have friends that we deal with. We have people that we deal with, and we've made these. We're supposed to have made these good connections over life. And how do you sustain those connections? Is just being you, being the person with integrity, being a person that somebody can count on, that people can count on for good sound advice, good sound things to say, being positive, all of that stuff works. When we make a safe place for somebody to be able to vent or be able to talk, then they do. Just like when you get a bartender, and bartenders get all of these stories and things about people, and they go through all of this stuff about people. It's not because it's a bad place. It's because people want to talk. People want to put their stuff out there. They want to feel better, about certain things. So I always say that's what I try to do. I try to give off that energy, that safe space energy, that we could talk and we can have a good relationship on that end. Now it's true. It certainly is times where I've had where I just don't think it's appropriate to have certain conversations, and I'm not gonna have those conversations. And there's nothing that somebody can do to make me have those conversations at that time. And I express that, even though they get mad or whatever. But I express that that I right now it's not the time for me to be even talking about this. Why do I have to talk about this? You know what I'm saying? Or why can't we table this for later? You know what I'm saying? All of that type of stuff. But that makes good relationship with you is when you're able to be honest. Honesty, when you're able to be honest and say, look, I can't do that. Nope. It's not that I don't want to, it's that I can't. I can't do that. Or whatever the case may be, I'm letting you know that I can't do that. And don't get, you can get mad off of the thousands of things that I have done and the things that I say no about. You don't want to deal with me, then that's fine. That's fine. I know where I stand. And making good relationships, I think I tend to do. I think I tend to make good relationships with people. Those of you who want to have a good relationship with me, we have a great relationship. Those of you who don't want to have a good relationship with me, we don't have a relationship at all, and that's fine too. So that's one of the things. But the last but not least, being on here for 40 minutes. Last but not least is family. How good it is to have family. I know some of us, have family members that are not on the top of the list of us, talking to or trying to get in contact with or anything like that. We all have those family members, right? And the way that I treat that is that I just don't bother with it. But the family that do love me and embrace me for being me and how I get out and do things in my life, those are the ones who I like to have around. Like yesterday, both my sister, I have two sisters. I got a younger sister and I have an older sister, and I'm the middle. And my dad, it was real nice to see that all of us getting along, and we could sit at the same table and eat and talk, and laugh and all of that. That's one of the things that keep me going. You know what I'm saying? That keeps me going because it was a time where in my life where I was at odds with both of my sisters. I was at odds with my dad at a time in my life. But all of that don't matter when it comes down to the thick of things. You know, we should really make room for. Dang, somebody's. Oh, they moving. We should really make room for being forgiving, having a forgiving heart. We should make room for trying to make things right. If we can't, that's a different story. If you can't, you can't, and that's okay. That's fine. But we should all try to make it in a family setting. We need family, man. I didn't know how much I needed my family support until I didn't have it. And then when I didn't have it, it's kind of life is kind of dull and kind of tough. But I can say that me burying the hatchet on a lot of different things has made my life a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Has been like, man, some weight lifted off my shoulders. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta feel a certain way. I don't gotta be mad, or I don't gotta be spiteful toward this person, or I don't gotta be any of those things toward that person. We can just be family and it's cool. I don't have a problem. I don't have no problems. I think family is great. I think family is wonderful. I think it is. I think it is. Whoever. That's why I try to be a great friend. I try to be a great brother. I try to be a great, just a great person. Just a great person. I worked on me. I worked on me, and I continue to work on me every day. How can I do things and have a better character? How can I do things and I love looking at myself in the mirror. How can I do these things? What do I have to do? I'm not a jealous person. I'm not a person that has to have 100,000 people around me all the time. I'm just me. I'm just me. Learning to live with yourself and learning to understand you. That's a huge mountain to climb. Huge mountain to climb, and I've done the work, and I'm continuing to do the work. It's never over. The work to be done is never done when you're working on yourself and you're trying to become better as a person. Trying to become you're trying to have a better living. You're trying to treat yourself better. And so with that being said, that's my family spiel. Love your family. Sometimes people that you meet in your life are not blood family, but they act accordingly. So treat that as such, and keep everything going. Keep everything going. That was what I wanted to talk about today. I wish I would have had somebody chiming in, giving me some good comments. Giving me some good comments. I haven't seen nobody jump in the comments, but I've seen people watching, but no one's jumping in the comments to say anything. What do you guys think about the dating pool? You know what I'm saying? What we got going on nowadays? What do you think about the young people or the young women that I'm seeing all over the internet wanting guys to pay all their bills? What do you think about that? How does that work? Yeah, this is talking with OC. I'm your host, OC, and yeah, I just want to give another shout out to Coolio the Underdog, making my music, intro music. Big AC for going on and on the other podcast, talking on the other podcast without a name. Your Hand Right podcast. I want to give a shout out to San Francisco Bay Area, the Bay Area, for putting on a great show for the Super Bowl. I haven't heard any ill things out of this Super Bowl 2 weeks, and it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful in the Bay Area. It's been a great thing. So yeah, if you have anything you want to say, I can get anybody on Talking with OC, and we could talk. We could talk about a lot of different things. I just went over 3 things today, that people like to talk about. And I like to call myself a parenting guru, because the things that I believe translate. I take a lot of things from sports, being around sports and how sports work. How coaches are instrumental in kids' lives. I do that. Oh, and I want to say that on AMC, that network AMC, they got this documentary about the 49ers on there that's really good. Before my team was in the league, because we were an expansion team, the Baltimore Ravens were an expansion team. We moved from Cleveland to Baltimore, and then Cleveland got a team back. I used to like the 49ers. A lot. But my team came in 94, 95, and I started liking the Baltimore Ravens, and that's been my team ever since they came in the league. Where I'm from, you got to have a team. You got to root for your team. You can't be jumping around, or folks gonna tell you about it. But I like the Baltimore Ravens. That's my team right now. But back in the day, the 49ers had a great is a great organization. They had a owner that was 35 years old owning the team, Eddie DeBarlo. Treated his team and his players like he would want to be treated, and so they won Super Bowls. They had one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it, Joe Montana, best quarterbacks to ever do it, and so it was an exciting time for San Francisco, But now they're at Levi Stadium. They are at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, where luxury boxes is $3 million. $3 million, luxury boxes $3 million. So that's how that goes. But I want to thank everybody for that tuned in today. Thank everybody that tuned in today. I appreciate you. And this is Talking with OC. You know what I'm saying? I'm your host, OC. And so, this is how things work. This is an older intro. I'm using it as an outro. And we're gonna get up and out of here.
Yeah. 2025. Talking with CWLIO.